What's up, guys? It's the Four Horsemen Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Josh Strohmein. With me tonight, I have Alex Deviney Stoner, Brent Ocker, and Joshua Van Cleve. How are you guys doing tonight?
Terrific.
Great. Happy Memorial Day.
Whoop. Yes, it is Memorial Day. We are fitting in podcast about 9 p.m. So,
what'd you guys do? Anything
Brent,
fun?
You actually did something fun.
I went to the lake all weekend.
Nice.
Did a lot of fishing, a lot of drinking. It was a good time.
He had a fish fry, and they invited me, and then didn't tell me where it was or what time. And so I didn't.
Wait a minute. You had a fish fry and didn't tell me? I fucking love fish fry. Oh, there it goes. Explicit. Dang it. Sorry, guys.
It was up in North Indiana, so
I wasn't going
you would have had to drive up there.
I think I put on pants twice. All weekend.
I was 15 minutes away. So that's okay, though. I'm only a little sad. It's okay. I still love you so much. But, yeah, I was up at my parents' house. We just kind of hung out all weekend and messed around outside. The girls jumped in the lake. It was still a little cold, but they wanted to swim. So
yeah.
It was nice, though. It was relaxing. It was good. Van Cleve, did you do anything? Build any barns or like?
Actually, I worked on it today. Yeah.
Of course you did.
Just we swam in my mother-in-law's pool. They got it heated, so that was pretty nice. Kids did that.
Oh, nice.
Sunday we didn't really do much. We just kind of was lazy Sunday. Then today there was a parade, and then I worked on the pole barn all day. The kids swam. So yeah,
I hate parades.
Yeah, so do I. But
they're low-key the most trash event.
But my kids like throw the candy, so
my kids never been to a parade, and I'll never take them.
You sound passionate about this. Did you have a bad parade experience?
There's a few things in life I don't know why. I just hate them. Like I hate birds. I hate parades. Like
you like floats?
Like root beer floats.
Okay, just making sure.
That's about it. I bought some beers this weekend. Freedom Rock by Sun King. It's an IPA, session IPA.
Session IPA.
They're delicious and they taste like America.
Oh wow!
Probably not. I don't know. It's not an American beer. Is IPA American? It's what?
India Pale Ale.
Yeah. So is it from India? I guess I don't really know where IPAs come from, like where they originated. Is it Van Cleve? You're probably the smartest with beer. Is IPA from? Where are they from?
That answer. Brent might actually know the answer on that one.
I don't. I just drink it.
It's just how it's brewed and everything with the hops, but I don't know.
So it doesn't have anything to do with where it originated, then. It has to. We'll table this for another time because we all sound pretty stupid right now. But so we are going to finish talking about our mock draft.
It is called India Pale Ale.
Yes, we established that.
Yeah. Well, I know, but
yeah,
wouldn't that tell you exactly where it is? Well, wouldn't that tell you exactly where it is? What's the argument? What's the question?
Well, just because it has India in the name doesn't necessarily mean it started in India. Like we name weird stuff all the time, right?
You're right. It's from England.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. Well, thank you for clearing it up. No need to table that. That conversation is 100% done. So, like I said, we're going to talk about the mock draft. Jesus. Go ahead. What do you got?
Yes, from England, but they would export the beer to India.
So it was an export. It was an export of England to India for consumption by people in India. That's the final. That's the final there.
Some on Wikipedia what it's saying.
Like the car parts that are like made in Mexico, shipped to the United States and assembled here.
It was like a pale ale that it got exported to India, so I guess that's why they call it India Pale Ale.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thank you for breaking that down for me, guys. I appreciate it. So last episode we talked about I don't know how many. We didn't really get through a certain number of rounds. We just kind of started talking about some of our favorite picks of the draft. It was a 12-team half PPR mock draft, start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, flex. I don't know, we got off tangent a few times talking about guys, but I kind of thought we could go over a few more picks that we liked, then go over our picks that we didn't like, and then talk about some of our different draft strategies and kind of like how we saw the draft play out, talk about our favorite team, least favorite team, that kind of stuff. Does that sound good?
That sounds delicious.
Sounds great. Van Cleve, you were almost asleep last week, so I really want to start with you before you pass out again.
I actually don't remember the whole thing at all.
Why don't you throw out one of your favorite picks for me?
So I actually, one of my favorite picks was probably yours in the which round was it? Here, let me look. In the 6th round, DJ Moore.
Yes.
I feel like he can take it to the next level this year because he's really got no one in front of him. He did. They were kind of late in the season last year. He came on and looked really good. I think he can work well with Cam Newton. He's got another belt, offseason under his belt, or going to be having another offseason under his belt with Cam. And I think, with Christian McCaffrey, I think that really opens things up.
Yeah.
I really like DJ Moore this year. I'm getting a lot of DJ Moore in a lot of drafts is this year. So I really like him this year. I think he's going to take another step forward. I think he can be – you'll be drafting him higher the years to come is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Like you said, I got him early in the 6th round.
So, I mean
I
that's
took
the value because who was
Huh?
So I'm just seeing like who was around that area, same area.
Tyler Lockett went 4 picks before him, which I think I would probably draft Tyler Lockett over.
I would not.
DJ Moore.
I like DJ Moore, but I think DJ Moore's more talented than Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Boyd went a couple picks after him, 3 picks after him.
I mean,
Allen Robinson.
I see. I would think I would take DJ Moore ahead of Alshon.
I was going to say that. I was going to mention that too.
I take DJ Moore ahead of Mike Williams only because Mike Williams, you still have Keenan Allen on that team.
So we were kind of talking off air.
Same in Calvin Ridley and stuff.
Oh man, like it's hard. I get what you're saying. I love DJ Moore's talent. That's why I felt great getting him as my wide receiver 3. I think targeting him right around that 6th round is pretty good. If you wanted to jump up and take him in the 5th at the end of the 5th, I think I'd probably be okay with that too, just depending on how your draft played out. But Brent, I know you got really strong feelings on Mike Williams. Would you take DJ Moore over Mike Williams, or would you rather have?
I'd rather have DJ Moore than Mike Williams.
Okay. Why?
So one of the things I like doing and listening to a lot of other expert podcasts, they compare last year's rookie class with the current year's rookie class and where they would actually rank them. So most of the experts have actually said they would, if DJ Moore was in this year's rookie class with N'Keal Harry, A.J. Brown, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, all these other guys, they would still put DJ Moore at the number 1 wide receiver spot.
Well, that's not that hard. I mean, that was a trash class. I mean, I'm not saying that DJ Moore's not good. I actually think he's really talented. The issue that I have is really Cam. It's hard to predict if he is going to just run around or if he's going to throw the ball. And so that's why, like, if I'm looking at the guys around him, I would rather go for a Mike Williams because I know that Phillip Rivers is going to pass and pass a lot. DJ Moore, he still has to, I think we're saying, well, yeah, he's the go-to wide receiver, but Christian McCaffrey is the number 1 wide receiver and number 1 rusher on that team. He is going to be a focus. And so it'll be interesting to see how they play things out. I don't think it was a bad pick. I'm not suggesting that. I think that DJ Moore is better than Alshon Jeffrey. Honestly, I probably would put Alshon Jeffrey right ahead of Allen Robinson in this. So I think that he got slightly overdrafted, and then you got DJ Moore as kind of something that kind of made up for it a little bit. I don't know. I mean, do you guys see where I'm coming from with it though? Like, I just, it's hard to know what Carolina's going to do.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of potential there. I'm a little worried about Cam, but I think he's going to be healthy. I think he's going to be ready for the start of the season. No, I haven't really seen anything that's made me think otherwise. Nothing that's been jumping out.
Well, I'm not suggesting it his health. I'm just talking about, how frustrating it was to have, Kelvin Benjamin, other than that, that 1 year. Like, he had another good year there, but it was sporadic, and it wasn't necessarily because of his talent. It had more to do with how Cam operates. Like, instead of, a wide receiver getting 8 touchdowns, they might get 3 because Cam took the other ones. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's a little bit iffy with like a guy like DJ Moore, and that's why. And I understand, there's a guy in front of him, just like what VC was talking about. But I think that with Mike Williams, I put him ahead simply because we know that Phillip Rivers is going to throw the ball out constantly. So I feel like that's a little bit more of a safer move.
I'd rather have Mike Williams as well, for what it's worth. I have him slightly ahead of him. I was just looking to kind of like a side note, and we'll get back into. I was looking at rookie wide receivers that went in this route because we were talking off air a little bit about how wide receiver, it used to, everybody thought, give it 3 years to produce. Alex, we were kind of talking about that, like how you would, and that's kind of where I look at DJ Moore. Like, would you rather have this guy that is a great, has all the makings of a great wide receiver, or would you rather take a chance with a rookie that, you could be, and maybe he's going to hit the scene and hit the ground running like some of the ones that we've seen in the past. But I think the earliest, I was kind of going through, I'm trying to see who the first rookie wide receiver was that got drafted, and it looked like it was N'Keal Harry at the
and I want to talk about
904.
That.
Okay,
that's one of my highlighted.
No, I took TK Metcalf at 8.1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Oh, I missed that one. Okay,
that was a good pick.
Okay, what did you think about the Harry pick?
I hate it. Straight up hate it.
So you like DK Metcalf at 801, but hate N'Keal Harry at 904?
The reason being, not because he's a rookie, because he's going to New England. I have had this conversation about 8 million times. They don't know how to draft very well. They like, especially with those skill players. We saw the back and forth of Sony Michel. We're going to get more back and forth with Sony Michel this year. Malcolm Mitchell was the big thing that VC and I went back and forth about. And they're not good at drafting wide receivers. They're good at bringing them in.
We'd also never seen them draft a wide receiver in the first round either, though.
Right.
To spend this much draft capital on a wide receiver.
I mean, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, can you really trust anything that the Patriots do in this? I can see him being basically another Malcolm Mitchell. To be completely honest, I don't see him.
Malcolm
being
Mitchell
like
was
fantastic.
a 4th round draft pick.
Yeah,
I'm saying in production,
I think that's a big difference.
I'm saying in production wise, I just don't feel like they assess talent very well in wide receivers, and that's why they have to bring them in constantly. Now, Edelman, they drafted him, right? Right? Yeah.
Undrafted.
They drafted Edelman. Oh, undrafted. Okay. So, like things like that happen. I could see them picking up an undrafted player and then that player outplaying Harry. It's just, I don't trust I just don't trust them.
I think you got to remember that by default, based on draft capital, I don't think. Okay, you have Gronk leaving, you had Chris Hogan leaving, you had Josh Gordon. Not all those targets are up for grabs. So I think by default, even if he's going to be a wide receiver 2 or a wide receiver 3 in that offense, he's going to have some sort of fantasy appeal. Those targets have to go somewhere.
Like I don't.
He's
Like I feel like he's gonna
catch
like
touchdowns.
I feel like he's gonna sprain his ankle, or like I don't know. I just have this weird feeling about him, and I just no. I'm a pass. A complete pass.
I like N'Keal Harry. I don't know if he's my top wide receiver, but okay. So Josh, you took DK Metcalf at the 801, so you were the first one to draft a rookie wide receiver. Then Harry went. Then Mecole Hardman went 905. I got Paris Campbell went at 1011. Terry McLaurin went 1206. Marquise Brown went 1305. AJ Brown went 1407. Are there any of those guys you feel, other than DK Metcalf, and obviously like you feel real good about, Doug Baldwin retiring and hanging them up? And
I don't see why in a redraft Terry McLaurin was drafted or AJ Brown.
Right.
In a redraft, I think there's a connection between Haskins and him, but when are we going to see Haskins? I just don't see.
I bet you Haskins starts the season off as the starting quarterback for the Redskins.
You think so?
Yeah.
Off the bat?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. They need it. They need something.
I'm not. I think that it could happen. I just see them starting off with a veteran and then him taking over. But
look at their veterans.
I would be shocked. I know, but I just think it's the Redskins. I think they'll do that move first. I don't know. That's just the way I see it. But I think they
play their rookies because they've got nothing to lose right now. Jay Gruden won't be coached there if they have a losing season. Mm-hmm. They might as well throw everything out there that they've got. He's on his last leg.
So Dustin was the guy that drafted McLaurin there, and I know that he's an Ohio State fan, and I would like to ask him if that played into it at all. I know he got to watch McLaurin play, but
he drafted 3 rookie wide receivers.
Yeah, he did. He took Hardman, McLaurin, Brown. He also has Adam Thielen, Amari Cooper, and Jarvis Landry.
I just feel like the wide receivers, and I could be wrong, but like right now with immediate needs is N'Keal Harry, Hardman, Marquise Brown, and DK Metcalf are the rookie wide receivers that are going to probably get immediate results.
Yeah,
because they don't really have much behind them, or the team doesn't really have much at all as far as wide receivers go.
Well, and I think that Hardman kind of just walking into a bad situation, but a good situation for him, essentially.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Do you think it's almost too good to be true, though? Like it's almost lining up too much? I don't know. Like, Tyreek, the Tyreek Hill situation sucks, but everybody's automatically slotting Hardman in there to take that role. Well, we don't know it.
You're right about that. Now, like, honestly, I kind of have the same feeling about we had, what was it? Green Bay last year. It was last year that Geronimo was a rookie, right? There was like 3 guys. Was it 2 years
Scantling, Economy, St. Brown.
Yeah.
Were last year.
Okay.
It was Allison's second year. So it was you, sorry.
Okay. Well, I guess that's kind of, there are teams where there's an opening and there's this guy that looks like, okay, they drafted him in the 3rd round or 4th round, and then some undrafted guy comes out of nowhere and gets over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Like, it's hard to predict that kind of thing. But when you're looking at it, you have to look at Hardman as a potential, fantasy guy for you this year.
Yeah. They invested.
You don't have a crystal ball. Yeah, exactly. You can't. And when you're drafting this early, you have to use that kind of information. You can't.
Yeah.
You have to, like, when you're drafting in August, this is a much clearer picture. Right now, the Kansas City wide receiving core, the running back, honestly, outside of Mahomes and Kelsey, there's a question mark. What's going to happen with these guys? And so it's tough to draft a lot of skill players in Kansas City right now because of that problem.
Especially because you want to get your hands on them. Everybody
Yeah,
saw
oh,
what
yeah.
Kansas City did last year, and everybody wants a part of it.
Exactly. It's honestly, it's probably one of the more bizarre, situations where you have this high-powered offense that now doesn't really have anyone that was the reason that they were good last year, but we're still assuming that they're going to be good.
Right.
So I mean, it's gonna. Kansas City's going to be a weird team this year as far as fantasy goes. Like you have to hope that you're drafting in late August.
Give me all the Sammy Watkins. That's why. I
I
want Sammy.
100%.
He
2
went.
weeks
He
ago
went.
you told me I was an idiot.
5 points.
I
I do want to point that out.
With you, though.
I'm just pointing it out that you were.
I traded for Sammy Watkins a while ago, so
I
think
traded
was probably
away to
just messing
Sammy
with you.
Watkins.
Yes, you did. To Alex, right?
Nope.
Huh?
Was that? Oh, it was different. That was Brandon. Never mind.
Well,
Sammy
I
Watkins
think-
went to 504 in this draft. So.
But to what Van Cleve just said, I think that that's a fantastic strategy as well. I think that right now, Watkins' value is as high as it's been in a while. So if you aren't 100% on board with him, get rid of him, and you're going to get some decent, trade value from him. Because
what'd you get for him, Josh?
I would agree. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
What did you trade?
I just got a second round rookie pick for him.
That's right.
For him.
Which pick?
It's a 2020.
It's whatever Brandon finishes.
It's a
2020. So it's a future. So, and I was happy with it because to me, I mean, Watkins was a serviceable wide receiver last year, but he just got injured so much.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the name of the game with him.
Exactly. And so I didn't think I was going to be one of those players that I was wanting to keep for next year. So I was like, you know what, might as well get something out of him. His value is going to be never going to be highest.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think I'd give him up for that. And now our league's a little bit different, but
yeah. But also, good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like in our league, your wide receivers are pretty stacked, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you don't even like. I think that's the thing is that if you are sitting on a team where, let's say you had, you just happen to have Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins, so you are probably going to lose out on that guy. And if maybe you had, Baldwin or like some guy like that, and all of a sudden you're kind of stuck, I wouldn't get rid of him. But if you have a couple of guys already, there's no real reason to sit on someone like that just to see if they're going to do something maybe on your bench because your team is decent. So just get rid of him. I mean, sell him while he's hot.
Like just so you guys know, I traded Kerryon Johnson and the 309 for Sammy Watkins in the 115, which it's a 16 or it's technically a 32 team league with double versions of players. So it's more like the 304 for the 108.
What would you be considered just you getting Kerryon for the one overall in the third round for Sammy?
Huh?
Like, wouldn't it be, if you look at that trade, you're basically, it's Kerryon for a first and Sammy for a third, right?
I guess, like, I think of it more as like I gave up Kerryon and like a random defensive rookie for Sammy Watkins and Paris Campbell, which is who I drafted. And I don't have any wide receivers in that league. I have T.Y. Hilton, and that's pretty much it. James Washington is probably my second best wide receiver.
It was a decent trade. I don't think you gave up that much for Sammy, and you ended up getting a first. I mean, you gave up Kerryon, and I still don't even think Kerryon is worth the first.
Yeah, that's the same league I have Sony Michel and Derrick Henry, and I really wanted to do Sony Michel instead of Kerryon Johnson, but he wouldn't do it, so I ended up giving Kerryon because I really think that Sammy could put up top 12 wide receiver numbers this year if it plays out right. That's upside. That's pure upside. That's like his highest ceiling.
When he plays, he can, because he put up top 10 wide receiver numbers last year, like on certain games, on game basis. But how long is it going to last?
Yeah,
I'm excited to see
that's-
it play out.
Yeah.
But
If you get him for cheap, for a 2020 second, I would do that all day long.
He's one of those guys that I have been in love with since he came onto Buffalo, and I feel like I've been burned too many times, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
He's only 25 years old.
Yeah,
He feels
not
like
that
he's
old.
been in the league
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah,
he's dealt with a lot of injuries. He says that I saw he just had a article that came out that said he feels the best he's felt since college. So I know it's off-season speak talking about how things are good, but I see that and I just think, oh, please God, stay healthy. Please, Lord, put them together. Throw it up, prayers up for Sammy Watkins. I want it to happen.
That's what I do when I talk about somebody who's dead. What
Yeah,
like Sammy Watkins.
He's right there. If he doesn't do anything this year, he is dead.
Okay,
might as well be.
I agree.
This is his opportunity. Like this is by far the
There's
best.
a bug on you
now.
There's a bug on you.
There's
a bug on your collar. Did nobody see that?
Wow, is there really a bug on me?
Yes,
I'm scared. Okay, I don't think it's there anymore.
What's that right there?
God, where is it?
Hold on.
I got it. I killed it.
Okay, thank God.
It's dead.
I didn't go crazy.
What was
it? Was a stink bug.
Yeah, that's what.
You guys have those stink bugs up there?
Brent does.
Sure do.
I have never seen so many stink bugs than when I lived with Brent. Like it was insane. They were just like coming from everywhere. I've never seen so many.
Well, I had a tick on me earlier today, so like I'm kind of paranoid as it is. Sorry, Brent. What?
I got one of those electric rackets that you can swing at them now, and there's this huge pop when you hit them. It's awesome.
Electric racket?
Yeah, like it looks like a tennis racket.
Yeah,
it's like electric powered and not electric. You put batteries in it, but it zaps them like it's a bug zapper, but you swing it with a racket.
Like the strings on normal tennis racket, but these are like powered with some juice. So you have to push on a button and swing in it. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But let's get back to it. Van Cleve. Yeah. No, Brent. I want to hear from you. I want you to give me one of your least favorite picks.
Ooh. I mean, right off the bat, it was at the end of the fourth round, Tariq Cohen. I know we started talking about it on the last podcast, but I did not like that pick at all. I don't know why he would draft someone that high that's so unpredictable when other guys like Darius Geis and Chris Carson wasn't there. Even Kenyon Drake, I'd rather have. David Montgomery, Tevin Coleman, Miles Sanders. I'd rather have all those guys.
Every one of them. Yep.
James White.
I'd rather
have him than Tariq
I'm trying
Cohen.
to find where I would have the cutoff at. Because
like Lamar Miller, I'd rather have than Tariq Cohen. Like
I would rather have. I think I would still rather have Shady, and he went at 8.5.
You would rather have Shady
than Tariq Cohen? Yes.
Yeah, that's a mistake. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I would much rather have Tariq Cohen than a guy that is like so old.
Tariq Cohen is only a pass catcher. He does not run the ball. He's like the opposite of Jordan Howard. But Tariq Cohen, he's so unpredictable. One game he'll have 10 catches. The next game he might have 3. You cannot predict when he's going to have an actual fantasy relevant game. Why draft a fourth rounder?
Absolutely.
If you want to put him in your flex spot, though, I have no problem with that. I think that the fourth round is too high. But I'm sorry, you cannot put LaShawn McCoy ahead of him.
Listen what I'm trying to say here. It's exactly what Brent said. One of the things that you need to do when you are, when you're setting up a fantasy team is you need to look at where you're going to get points every single week. Tariq Cohen is not the guy to be your number 2 running back. Okay.
He didn't draft him as his number 2 running back, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was sorry. Number 3 running back. Apologize. But it's just like if I'm looking at McCoy, I'm not saying that McCoy is awesome. Don't get me wrong on that. I have nothing to do with him. I'm done with McCoy. He's way too old. However, I feel like McCoy would give you more steady numbers than Tariq Cohen, who might give you a huge week on week 2. Then maybe week 6, he has a decent game. And then in between, it's like 2 for 38. You know what I mean?
This
Like
was
that's
the same argument we were starting to have last week. I get what you're saying, but like I feel like Tariq Cohen is a fine running back to have in the PPR league if you want to start him in your flex. And now I wouldn't want to start him as my running back too. You're right, but I don't think there's no way I would take Shady over him. Not in a million years. So
speaking as a Shady owner last year, I got burned bad with Shady.
yeah.
I think 4th round Tariq Cohen too high. I agree with every single one of you guys what you say, but Shady McCoy was so unpredictable. I mean, it was bad. I mean, he only had one.
Wasn't he hurt?
Game.
Wasn't he hurt most of the season too?
It's because he's 50.
Well, no. Okay. First off,
but like the attempts though, he had like 7, 9, 5, 24, 16, 2, 12, 10, 26, 17, 15, 2, 6, 10. Like his attempts share was just awful last year. He had 2 games where he only had
2 games where he had 2.
I think he got hurt in those games.
Oh, okay.
Which
More of what you'll see if he stays on the roster, even.
But yeah, what I'm just saying though is the attempt share for that. If you're looking at consistency, week in and week out, he would not be one of those people I'd be targeting for that. Is what I'm getting at.
Now, if he gets cut and like Tampa Bay picked him up, then I might change my mind. But right now, with the situation the way it is, you can't draft LaShawn McCoy. We're getting away from it though. Tariq Cohen is a bad pick at the 4.
Where would you pick him?
So Ryan picked him. Hold on 1 second. Let me just establish this. So Ryan had the number 1 overall pick, and he took Barkley, and then coming back, he took Derrick Henry and Stephon Diggs, and then coming back on the 4-5, he took Tariq Cohen and Aaron Rodgers. So it is a rough set. He's got Barkley, which automatically gives you that edge. He did not need to take Tariq Cohen there. He could have taken Amari Cooper or Kenny Galladay or Robert Woods, even like
literally
Chris
the
Godwin.
entire 5th round. The entire 5th round else? He should have taken. Yeah.
Oh man, he could have had like a good, decent wide receiver.
Oh no, Cooper, you're right. Kenny I was looking at the wrong line. He couldn't have taken those guys. Robert they all went Woods. Before. It would have been. He would have been looking at like Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins, Mike Williams, one of those guys. Tyler Lockett. I still think those are all better picks.
Every single one of them. Where would you put him?
So
where would you feel good about
probably mid 7th round. I'd rather have him than Jordan Howard.
Okay, I can see that.
I'd rather have him. It'd be close between him and Telvin Coleman for me.
I mean, listening to what, just kind of hearing what Van Cleve was talking about with the carries and the shares and stuff like that, it definitely makes me kind of back off my thought of putting him above Cohen. But I think you're right. Like in the 7th, I don't have a problem getting a guy that had almost 80 catches like that. So that's cool.
But you're right. He's going to get overdraft this year.
So you'd be putting him in the 7th round, and if we're talking 7th, 8th round, somewhere in there, I'm looking at, okay, Tariq Cohen, or do I just try and start filling in my roster with quarterbacks and tight ends? And I'd rather draft the quarterbacks or tight ends than Tariq Cohen.
I don't think so, but that's all right. I waited till the very end to pick my quarterback, so round 11 and 12. I also got George Kittle in the 4th round, though, which helped.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I will.
You also got Josh Allen, Mitch Trubisky.
Which I'm completely fine with.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine not drafting Tariq Cohen and letting someone else take the chance on his unpredictability.
Yeah. Well, don't reach on him. If he's a fill-in guy, though, I think it's fine.
Honestly, I think that I love getting Josh Allen and Trubisky back-to-back. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I like both of those guys this year. I'm not saying that Josh Allen's going to be throwing for 300 yards, but he might run for 300 yards.
I am gonna say this. I am a huge Trubisky truther this year, and yes, I do own him in our dynasty league. But I love everything that he's shown. I love that he's coming to his second year in the Matt Nagy offense. Like, I could see him putting up top 10 quarterback numbers. Like, I could see him being a guy that we talk about next year as being like a viable starter.
Yeah,
Van Cleve, you don't like it? You hated that I drafted Trubisky that high? What don't you like about him?
High
or that low or that at all?
Okay,
maybe
that low. I think he was great value. Don't get me wrong. I just think that you counting on those two guys as being your quarterbacks scares me. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. You drafted Matt Ryan in the 7th round,
which I think is a little bit too high. But
yeah,
it is looking for talent. Because I could have got some more people. I'm not saying that, but I mean, Phillip Rivers in the 10th, Cam Newton in the 9th, Tom Brady in the 11th, Ben Roethlisberger in the 11th is one of my favorite picks. That's 11th round. You got Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
in the top.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and
so
that
I would rather have.
I would have rather had Ben Roethlisberger than Josh Allen. Yep, I'll admit that. I was playing the wait game, see how long I could wait.
Plus, there's still a lot of quarterbacks on our waiver wire too that didn't get drafted, like Lamar Jackson, Jimmy Garoppolo. You got Stafford and Carr and Darnold,
Sam Bradford.
I mean, guys that you could start.
Well, honestly, like, to be completely, I'm surprised how the Jimmy G, like how it just is evaporated. If he comes back and was playing how he was playing in the beginning of the season, he's going to be a top 12 quarterback. No one's taking a chance on him. That's crazy.
Dynasty, that blows me away. High.
Dynasty is
redraft. Okay.
He should be on the roster though.
Yeah, I look at this and I'm honestly kind of shocked that he didn't get drafted at all. Like, I saw him I was scrolling through and I'm like, well, you know, but I'm surprised he didn't get drafted, because he, to me, is like, you have a guy like he's got Dak Prescott, this Murphy guy. Hold on, and he's got Dak Prescott and Jameis Winston. Both of those guys can be kind of flaky. Why not get a guy like Jimmy G that has a lot higher upside than a Dak Prescott? I don't know.
So that was my buddy Mark Murphy, who drafted in the the 4 position.
Yes.
So he took Winston and Prescott as his 2 quarterbacks. I'm fine with that because I think that Winston has a huge upside. Now, I don't think any of us are really Dak fans per se, but like, I feel like he's safe enough.
He was a lot better when Cooper came to town. That's
boring. Jameis Winston and Jimmy Garoppolo might be a good combo, but I think he drafted Winston in the 8th, which I would much rather get Winston like, I don't know, 11th round.
Yeah,
but that's
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay if you want your guy. Like, people are putting a lot of stock into the Bruce Arians offense, like coming in and being, you know, throwing the ball around and getting all those guys going. So that could be a great pick. His team's not too bad. Like, it was one of my favorites. He had Kamara at the 4, and then Mike Evans, Marlon Mack, Robert Woods, Sammy Watkins, Hunter Henry, Lamar Miller, N'Keal Harry, Fitzgerald, Barber.
I mean, I've got to just sound off right now that the first 2 teams are the worst teams.
So, like Ryan with the number 1 team, which we've already been talking about, and then Noah. One of my other buddies,
this Noah guy is the worst team. Period. I mean,
oof.
What? Okay, first off, Patrick Mahomes in the 2nd round. Give me a damn break.
So he took Elliott with the first pick.
Yeah,
and then Mahomes.
I don't love the Chris Godwin in the 4th. And then after he got Zeke, which you should have drafted McCaffrey. Sorry. Like, I feel like it's Barkley, then McCaffrey, and then there's a little bit of space. And then you go after those guys. I'm not saying giant. I'm not saying there's an ocean between.
I'm just saying I think most people would probably disagree with you. But those 3 are all right together.
Fair enough. But then he goes T.Y., Chris Godwin, then Edelman, then goes James White, doesn't get another running back until Ronald Jones. And I'm just like, what were you thinking?
he's gonna have trouble at running back. And I think that if you take out that Mahomes pick, that his team could be so much better. I don't think we'd be saying anything bad. Sets you back. Marvin Jones is the 8th, though.
Yeah,
Marvin
but
Jones did really good things with Detroit when he was healthy. So,
okay, but like, okay, I know that he didn't have this opportunity, but you look at Brent. I almost said Brontosaurus. Brent getting Sterling Shepard, and then Marvin Jones being taken one pick after. To me, those are night and day picks. Like, you have one that's just a strong, high value pick, and then you have Marvin Jones. I think he's exactly where he is. Like he kind of,
like you said, though, he didn't have the choice, so you're really arguing over nothing.
No. I understand, but what I'm saying is that the difference in what I'm looking at, and I'm seeing the value that Brent got on some of these picks, and then right next to him, I'm seeing a guy that is not getting good value on his picks and picking players way too soon. I feel like Chris Godwin was too soon. I don't know what you guys think.
That's about where he's going to go.
Then I don't want any part of that. I just don't.
That's Brent. You there,
Brent? I'm probably the person most in love with Chris Godwin out of this group.
Yes,
and
that's why I want you to talk about it.
I still think that's way too high. Like,
where would you feel comfortable taking him?
I would feel comfortable taking him probably in that round 6. That's where I think
that makes sense.
There's some guys in there. I know I won't own him. His hype is way too high, and he's going way too early in drafts. I mean, he could return that value easily in that offense, but I think that he's going way too high.
I feel like in the first few rounds, you are getting guys that are good. And then after you get to that point, then you're kind of looking for those value picks that are going to jump up. I don't think getting Chris Godwin in the 4th has any value return. That, like, if he performs well, that's great. But like I don't know. I feel like you could have gotten honestly, his next pick of Edelman, I like better. And he got him and then Sammy Watkins. I'd rather have Sammy Watkins than Chris Godwin. Calvin Ridley. I'd rather have Calvin Ridley. Mike Williams. I'd rather have Mike Williams. I don't know. Jeffrey scares me. Lockett is, I like him, but I think maybe that's wide receiver wise is where I put him. But I agree with Brent. Like, if you get him in the 6th round, you feel a lot better about him.
His value is just so high right now. Like, in some of the leagues that we play in, we've seen him going for multiple picks, like first rounders, 2020 firsts. He's going for outrageous amounts.
That's crazy.
Which I was just looking up his ADP, and Fantasy Pros has him at the 502. Fantasy Football Calculator has him at the 506. So,
like, 506 isn't horrible. Like, I know that's just a few picks later, but I don't know.
I mean, that's 506. 506 is right in the middle of that pack that you said that's where you'd be going. See, to me, Calvin Ridley and Chris Godwin are about the same.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I really don't see too much difference there.
No, I don't either. They're both in a great offense. They're both the number 2s on the team.
But like,
and
another
Mike
thing
could be better longer than Julio Jones, I think.
Because if I'm just, sorry, again.
So you said Evans?
I just said that I could see Evans like being around longer than Julio Jones is as like an elite option.
Yes. So in Dynasty, I'd be almost willing to take Ridley above Godwin. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, all I was saying is that if he would have chose Edelman and then came back around and got Geis, I would like this team a lot better. It has a lot to do with the fact that he put they're misplaced picks. I feel like do I think that having Chris Godwin as your number 2 is a horrible pick. No, I mean, I think that's exactly where he's going to be. Is as far as like how when he's drafted, what people are going to do with him. But I just feel like there were missed opportunities, and it kind of started with the whole Patrick Mahomes thing. Like,
do not draft a quarterback early, no matter how good it feels. I don't take one before. I have a hard time taking one before the 4th or 5th round. Like, there's no way. Like, even if Patrick Mahomes fell to the 4th, like, I would still be like, I can do it.
You taking Patrick Mahomes in the 2nd round, you take him that high, you're expecting him to get 50 touchdowns every single year.
Yeah,
apparently.
every year.
Like,
every year.
He's going to have regression. There's no way he's going to throw back-to-back 50 touchdown seasons. Tyreek Hill's not there anymore.
Well, and it's all about returning positional value. You know what I mean? Like, what's the separation difference between these quarterbacks? We're not saying that Patrick Mahomes isn't great and couldn't be great again this year, but like taking him in the 2nd, like you have such a replacement level from what you're drafting there. Like you're saying, like taking, your running back, your wide receiver, like the replacement level is so much lower for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
don't do it.
Again, you look at it, he could have drafted T.Y. in that 2nd round and then got Leonard Fournette or Marlon Mack or Philip Lindsay. I mean, like Keenan Allen. I mean, there are so many picks that he could have gotten and then waited until these mid rounds. One of the things that I wanted to point out is the other team that I dislike. I do not like getting Aaron Rodgers in the 5th and then getting Drew Brees in the 8th. Why?
Yeah.
That's wasted. Like, first off, Aaron Rodgers should not be going that high anymore. He just shouldn't. I mean, he's obviously like on his injury history is just getting a little bit too crazy. And so when you look at that, it's like, okay, you could get Breeze at 8. You don't even draft a quarterback. Breeze is your quarterback, and then you can grab somebody else off a waiver wire, or you can get somebody, like right at the end, kind of like what you did with Trubisky. Like,
right.
That's just ridiculous.
For what it's worth, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers in the 5th than Mahomes in the 2nd. Like, not saying that like I'm completely condoning Aaron Rodgers, but like, if you're gonna draft a guy there, draft him late.
But would you rather have Rodgers in the 5th or Breeze in the 8th?
No,
almost 9th. I mean, it's right at the turn, so it's almost 9th.
Yeah, no,
so,
don't waste it. Like, it's like making up for taking that quarterback in the 5th round, which like you can still get away with if you build your team right. It's harder, but then you take Breeze at the 8-9 turn, and then it really like puts you in such. Now you're taking one of those chances at drafting like a higher upside guy, and you don't get that.
If you are doing a redraft, there are plenty of quarterbacks. There's plenty. Don't get excited. If somebody takes Andrew Luck, that doesn't mean you have to rush and grab somebody else. There are plenty. Just wait.
Oh, yeah. Don't draft one early. Just don't do it. So you kind of were talking, one of my picks that I didn't love was Philip Lindsay at the 305, and I know that you have strong feelings on that, Alex, but I want to hear how the other guys feel about Philip Lindsay. Like, do you think that's where he should be going? So the guy that took him was Dustin's team. So he was drafting from the 5th position. He took Todd Gurley at the 105, then Adam Thielen at the 208, and Philip Lindsay at the 305, and then followed it up with a couple more wide receivers right after that. How do you guys feel about Philip Lindsay this year and his draft position? Brent?
I mean, I kind of feel the same way about Philip Lindsay this year as I did last year. Like, I feel like he's going to be overvalued. They do have another running back from the same draft class, Royce Freeman. I think he's going to develop a little more as well and maybe eat into some of those touches. But we saw last year Philip Lindsay can do it on limited touches. Like, he could have a 12-carry game, and he just needs to break one, and he was breaking them last year. 50-yard touchdown runs about, every 2 or 3 games. Like, he has the talent to do it, but I just think Royce Freeman's going to develop into maybe a little more of a more polished running back, and he's going to eat into those touches. I think the 3rd round value is probably too high. There's a lot of other guys I would have rather had there other than Philip Lindsay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree. I think that with his size and frames, which he's already shown with his injury, which is worse than I think people think. I think that he's going to be more your explosive third down back that I can see, and then they're going to be using Royce Freeman as a 1-2, and then bring him in on goal lines. Um, I just think that's a little bit too high, the 3.5. There were some other running backs that I'd much rather have than Lindsey that went after him.
That's just
But
so
his
high.
small frame, his small frame is he just not going to be able to sustain that workload time and time again. I think they're either going to do a running back committee or he's going to become that third down back because of his size.
I'm a lot lower than the consensus on Philip Lindsay. There's probably half a dozen, 6 to 10 running backs that I'd probably like to draft above Philip Lindsay right now.
Yeah. So, and Josh, you kind of feel similarly? Is that kind of where you're at?
Yeah.
So, Alex, I feel like you're kind of on the other side of it. Am I right? Like,
well,
you big
yeah.
Philip Lindsay guys here.
First off, Royce Freeman is Monte Ball. He's garbage. He's garbage, and he's going to be garbage. However,
way too soon to tell that, but okay.
Garbage. Yeah. Monte Ball, right? That's my expert opinion right now. Is Monte Ball.
Monte Ball had one good season and then went away. So,
guess what? A poor man's Monte Ball. Anyway, Royce Freeman. I'm not even thinking about him. But I agree that Philip Lindsay it should be drafted a little bit later. I feel like that you have to have a much larger sample size that isn't followed by a major injury. I think that's where you're looking at. You're saying, okay, he missed a lot of time. He was a rookie. Those things can be very volatile. If he had a couple of years and then had an injury, this is a completely different discussion. But we're talking about a guy that missed time. That they're just like you said. There's Royce Freeman. There are going to be other guys that will be worked in there. Philip Lindsay's going to have to be the guy he was in those weeks before his injury. Otherwise, it'll be like what Van Cleef said. It's going to be a running back by committee, or they're going to just use him as kind of a home run hitter kind of thing. And so the fact that you don't know, you shouldn't be drafting him that high. There's no value in that at that point.
And the undrafted guys always scare me. This time last year, we weren't even talking about Philip Lindsay. He didn't get drafted in our rookie drafts last year. Like the deeper ones he was going in, but like the lighter ones, he wasn't even being considered. And now all of a sudden he's a third-round draft pick. Now is when you need to make your decision. Like if you believe in him, I guess go for it and reach on him there. Because like Brent's saying, I got quite a few running backs ahead of him. I have him as my RB 25, so I'm definitely lower on him. But those undrafted guys just make me nervous, especially ones with injuries, with another running back that has better draft capital in the backfield. I'm staying away, and I'm trying to trade him away.
I think this is a good topic. Wouldn't you say the exact same thing about Aaron Jones then? I mean, he didn't have the major injury, but I think Aaron Jones is a much less capable back. I mean,
why?
What
makes you think that?
I mean, he only had, okay. Why did he only have 133 carries?
Because
Green Bay had no idea what they were doing last year. That's why
he
they
was
got
suspended the first 4 games, I think, and then he was
two,
kind
first
of
2, right?
Was
it
two?
2? I thought.
Yeah. So then he split carries with Williams. Jamal Williams. Yep. And then after that, they finally gave the reins to Aaron Jones, and then he got hurt and was out the rest of the season.
So honestly, I think they're kind of in the same boat then, because I'm looking at this like, okay, Aaron Jones was averaging 5.5 per carry. So why he wasn't getting like all the carries, but both of those guys, I feel like could come back and it could be, something different. Didn't Green Bay draft a running back
really late, like 6th round?
Yeah, 6th round, Dexter Williams. Why did he go in this draft?
Why did he go in this draft? Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. It's like, but And that's
went?
another one on that first team that I can't stand.
Dexter
So-
Williams got picked?
draft.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
10th
by-
round. The
by
10th
Gummy Bear.
round.
Did
Yeah.
you say by the first pick? By Ryan?
Gummy Bear.
Gummy
Ryan,
Bear.
what are you
What is up?
doing, buddy? God,
Well,
that's rough.
We can't
10th
say
round?
that.
Did you say we can't say that?
Yeah, because judging by his previous draft, we were expecting a dumb move like that.
Oh, yowzers. I don't know. Like, I think that there's still a chance for Aaron Jones with the new coaching staff. I would rather have Aaron Jones than Philip Lindsay. Personally.
Absolutely.
I would too.
Yeah, it's not really that close for me.
I feel like
Would you rather have Aaron Jones or Damian Williams?
Aaron Jones.
Would you rather have Aaron Jones or Sony Michelle?
Aaron Jones.
Would you have Aaron Jones or Devontae Freeman?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones or Kerryon Johnson?
Oh, Aaron. Oh, man. Maybe that's where my question mark starts. Because I don't know enough about. Oh, I don't know. That one's a tricky one. I think that's probably where the spot is.
Okay. So, and you'd rather have all those guys over Philip Lindsay.
All those guys over Philip Lindsay?
Mm-hmm. No?
What? Wait, hold on. What's your question? Well,
so I was comparing them to Aaron Jones. I was saying, would you rather have those guys over Aaron Jones? And then we'd rather have Philip Lindsay over all of them. So I think that's
okay.
establishing the value between those two. Sorry, it was a little confusing.
So, no, that's yeah. I mean, I'm a lot lower on like Sony Michelle than a lot of people. I'm a lot lower on Damian Williams than a lot of people. Devontae Freeman, I don't know. I feel like at any moment he's going to lose his job, but that's been going on for a couple of years, so I don't know.
Yeah, Josh took him at the end of the third, so the 3-4 swing. Started building that great running back core that we talked about last week with Kenyon Drake and David Montgomery and Devonta Freeman. I didn't mind it. God, Gage took a defense at the 807. That would be Gage Dotson, my boy, one of my good friends. But don't be the first to draft a defense, especially not in the 8th round. But that's why I wanted to get some of my other friends in here too, because I knew that the 4 of us aren't going to do that, but people do, and people will draft the Bears defense early. They were good last year. They're great, and they should be great again this year. But team defenses are so hard to judge and get an edge on. I hated it. It was probably not my least favorite, but it was way up there.
I was the only team not to draft a defense, and 5 teams didn't draft a kicker.
Yes, don't draft a kicker. I was going to say, we can talk about some draft strategies if you want, or if you want to name your favorite team, your least favorite team. Did you guys do that like I asked you to or not? Do you have a favorite team and a least favorite team? We kind of already talked about some of the bad ones.
I mean, I have.
Alex, you did.
I mean, for my worst team is that was it Noah, the one that did Mahomes. Yeah. I just don't like that team in general. Like honestly, when I'm looking at it, my favorite team probably is Brent's. You know, I think that Christian McCaffrey is probably going to be, if not 1, he's going to be number 2. I think that it's Barkley and McCaffrey for the best running back in the league this year. And I like I feel like Leonard Fournette in the 3rd is pretty good value. I love the Geis pick. The Josh Jacobs pick I'm a little on the fence about, but I don't think that it was like a bad pick. I'm just not – I don't love the Raiders being able to get anybody to run. I don't even hate his Corey Davis pick as much as he does because it's late enough that I don't feel like it's – I don't feel like it's that – I don't know. But yeah, so I would say that now, I mean, you did draft a tight end in the 12th round. that probably could have gone undrafted, but not too bad.
Picking Noah Fant that late, it's just the Flacco to his tight end connection. Like he loves throwing to tight ends.
Why three tight ends? Why three tight ends?
Because I didn't trust my other two, so I was hoping something would play out this summer where I could.
You have a borderline top 5 tight end in Austin Hooper.
Yeah,
you say so.
I love Austin Hooper.
I do too.
In a redraft, only one tight end started. Why
three tight ends in 4 rounds?
You can start 2. Your flex you can put a tight end in your flex if you have the choice. But
why would you? Unless you draft Kelsey and Ertz.
Why would you? Again, I drafted tight ends so late, and I didn't trust them, so I drafted a third.
I think your team sucks, but
okay. Yeah, it's one of the worst teams, Brent.
It's definitely not the best.
Oh, it's the worst.
I like it okay. I told Brent already that I was probably just being too critical because it's him. It's a good team. He did a good job.
I'm just actually giving you crap, Brent. But
Van Cleve, did you have a favorite team?
I hate you guys.
I said I liked your team.
Besides mine? No.
Yes, besides yours.
No. I actually like where's he at?
Yeah.
I like Murphy's team.
Yes, that was my favorite team.
Murphy?
I like it too.
I think it's the most balanced, and it's got a lot of top end, high upside guys.
Yeah, I like his team a lot. I think it's very balanced.
It's got a solid wide receiver and running back.
The first half is good, but I think he kind of peters out. Like once you get to drafting Lamar Miller, Jameis Winston, N'Keal Harry, Larry Fitzgerald, Peyton Barber, like that's boring garbage. Like that. So I would disagree just based on the second half of his draft.
He has great depth, but you like those high upside guys. He went the little bit safer route. I think he built a really good roster. I think having Alvin Kamara and Marlon Mack is potentially 2 top 10 running backs. He has Mike Evans, Robert Woods, and Sammy Watkins. All could finish top 15 wide receivers. He has Hunter Henry, who has a very big upside. I think it's a well put together lineup, and he doesn't have those. He could drop some of those guys, Jack Doyle or Peyton Barber, and pick up guys that we aren't talking about right now because we don't know. There's going to be guys that we're not talking about when it starts and preseason plays out. If he does that, I think that could easily be a championship team.
I agree.
Go ahead.
Oh, all I was saying was that honestly, though, if I look at after Hunter Henry, he could drop the rest of his team and get new players, and it would be the exact same thing. Like that's how like vanilla and almost useless the second half of his draft is.
I don't think so. I think Lamar Miller, Jameis Winston, N'Keal Harry. After there, if you want to say that, that's fine. But
the thing, Lamar Miller is a safe floor. Jameis Winston's going to give you some good upside. N'Keal Harry. I even like Larry Fitzgerald this year in that offense. He could be something that, and getting in the 10th round, why not? And Peyton Barber, as much as I don't like him, going after Ron Jones, Peyton Barber could overtake that job very easily and get him in the 11th round.
Why would you not want to draft Ron Jones backup? Makes sense.
Why would he want to draft Lamar Miller, a backup running back, to the MVP?
He's not a backup. He's to
back
torn Achilles ass having Donta.
Get
Foreman
ready. Get ready.
Lamar Miller will outscore Donta Foreman this year.
Yeah, I think since Lamar Miller had the touchdowns,
put it on the board. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll do it. That one sounds fun. I like that one.
I like it. I'm good with it.
I gotta put these on Discord.
Mark's team is my favorite. Murphy.
I would say it's probably my favorite one. It's the most balanced and stuff.
Yeah, Alex, your team's okay.
It's a very quintessential, obvious Alex draft.
Yeah, you're the only tight end you drafted is Delaney Walker, who talk about dropping guys, like drop him right now and pick up. What other tight ends are in there? Greg Olsen.
How many years?
I'd almost rather have Jimmy Graham than Delaney
How
Walker.
many years has somebody told me that about Delaney Walker, and then he just annihilates? I'm not saying that he's going to be that good. I'm just saying that I've heard that from people for years, and it's like, okay, and he's always a top, 10 tight end, like, and a decent one, not like just squeaks in. Like last year he was hurt.
Injury. Yeah.
No, I completely agree.
At age 34.
He's 116 years old, Van Cleve. I understand.
I mean, yeah, I guess in 2017 he had 74 catches for 800 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's amazing. It's mediocre. Like, I don't know. I just don't think he's that good. I think that he's definitely on the end of his string. He's been playing since 2006. I would not be surprised if he didn't play this year. He got injured in the preseason, didn't play at all.
Hey, Brent, can you just send me one of your tight ends, and then we'll just knock this entire situation off?
Nope.
If you would have you drafted him in the 10th round, if you would have taken, anybody, Jack Doyle even. No, don't take Gronk. The computer took Gronk. In the
Jack
13th
Doyle?
round. Don't do that. Yeah, I'd rather have Jack Doyle than Delaney Walker. Absolutely.
Can I put that one on?
That Jack Doyle outscores Delaney Walker?
Yes.
Go ahead. I'd rather have Jordan Reed. I'd rather have Chris Herndon. God, give me the field. Give me the field over Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker finishes the season as the worst tight end. Nobody finishes below him.
every single tight end in the league at least has 1 yard or a tackle.
First play, they hand off to him and he fumbles it. Done. Tears his ACL. Finishes the season -2 points. Worst tight end in the history of the NFL.
Somehow fumbles it. It's recovered. Then he recovers a fumble, but then throws an interception for some reason, and it's returned for a touchdown.
He's trash. Waste of a pick.
Wow.
But you drafted Anthony Miller in the 13th round, so you kind of saved yourself. That was a good pick. I love Anthony Miller this year. Austin Eckler's trash. Rashad Penny in the 8th round. That's a reach.
I hated that pick. That was garbage. Gross. There was just nothing. There was nothing that I liked. What was it? Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's for Rashad Penny. He is gross.
If I liked Chris Carson more, I wouldn't mind Troy's team. But you hate David Johnson. You think that he's going to finish as RB3 this year.
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm not making bold statements like you are about Adam Thielen that he's going to be, like put on a practice squad by the end of the season. I think that David Johnson is going to be a top running back. I just worried about where he's going, and I wish that he would go toward the back end of the first so that then you could swoop around and just grab another running back instead of waiting to get, I don't know. Because I don't love David Johnson and then Chris Carson as your 1-2 punch. I'm just not a fan of that.
I worry about Chris Carson.
Well, see,
I really like Juju.
Even like, so he's got David Johnson, Chris Carson, and then after that, that's even scarier. His depth.
Yeah. LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy, Royce Freeman, Matt Breida. Yeah. I mean, he would need Philip Lindsay to be injured and Jerick McKinnon and Tevin Coleman to be injured.
And
but
LaShawn McCoy
I could see all that happening. LaShawn McCoy getting traded to Tampa Bay, Philip Lindsay getting injured, and those other 2 guys getting injured. He has a great running back core. But needs some things to happen. Still not a bad team.
My God.
Is there anybody else?
Okay, you can't wait. Hold on. You just listed like
that was a joke, by the way. If you weren't picking up on it, that was not serious.
Sorry, I was jotting it down. Sorry, I misunderstood because I was like, wait, he's a decent team. If 5.
I like his team, but his running back core is a little scary. I wanted to make fun of Joe's team. Can we do that?
Well, okay. Can I?
We haven't even said one thing about it.
Well, there's no reason in a redraft. There's no reason in a redraft to ever have Kareem Hunt on your team. Period. That makes no sense in a redraft.
Yeah.
Half the season, you're going to waste a spot for half the season.
No, you're gonna drop him. You have to.
Yeah,
it
there's
puts you
no
in a bad
way
position.
that you're gonna be. And like, I don't hate somebody picking that last pick of the draft. Just saying, you know what? I don't like anything else that's out there. I'd like to see what's going to be happening. You know, I'll take a flyer on him. That's still a significant pick. And the beginning of the 8th round, where you have guys,
Latavius
like,
Murray. I'd much rather have Latavius Murray than Kareem Hunt.
Well, okay, we go over to Brent's pick at Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard, you'd rather have Kareem Hunt over Sterling Shepard? Come on, what? That's
if
insane.
anybody but Brent drafted him, I would agree with you. But since it was Brent, I'd give me Kareem Hunt.
There were so many picks that I would have liked over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Basically, that entire second half of the draft should have been picked over Kareem Hunt. Like, it's not even just it's half the season. Like, you could wait 3 weeks before you'd even really have to start thinking about whether you should pick him up or not. It's a redraft league. That's just not not necessary.
And I don't like his wide receiving core.
Yeah, Devontae Adams he took with the first pick of the 11th pick in the first round. They didn't take another wide receiver till Tyler Lockett in the late 5th, and then Christian Kirk in the late 9th. And then Jameson Crowder in the 14th. Ugh. He
screwed the pooch. Now that we're looking at this, he screwed the pooch. Okay, I would rather have Zach Ertz or George Kittle at 4-1 or 4-3 than having Kelsey at 2-2. I don't think that there is that big of a difference to award 2 full rounds. That doesn't make sense to me.
So what if he took so he took Adams with the first pick, keep that one the same, and then say he took like James Conner at the second pick of the second round, and then took Kittle instead of Kerryon Johnson in the 4th. So started out Devontae Adams, James Conner, Sony Michel, and George Kittle. Would you like that better?
Yeah. I don't
think you should take Julio.
Or if he took Julio.
Juju or Julio.
Honestly, if you tell me that this team has Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, then Sony Michel, Kerryon Johnson, I actually like that team. I mean,
I don't like Sony Michel and Kerryon Johnson is my only. There's way too much risk there. You're putting a lot of.
Yeah, but you're also saying that both of them are not going to do well.
I could see them both not doing well.
I
could see that happening.
But you're telling me that's not better than Devontae Adams, Tyler Lockett now, and Sony Michel, and still having Sony Michel.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I would rather have Devonta Freeman than Sony Michel for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but all right.
I'd rather have Kenyon Drake than Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Let's not. I'm not starting that. Jesus
I'd
Christ!
rather have Kenyon Drake than Mark Ingram for sure.
Come on! Of course.
Mark Ingram got drafted by the computer at the 309, which he's getting overdrafted left and right.
Yeah.
And sorry, Van Cleve, you were starting to say something. It was obviously going to be funny because you were already laughing.
No, I was.
So this better be good.
I was just going to be drafting Kenyon Drake earlier. I should have.
Yes, you should have. Offensive player of the year. Yeah. But back to what we were saying, Joe's team's trash. Obviously, I think we can all agree Joe's team's the worst out of all of them. Probably the worst team that's ever been drafted in fantasy football.
Yeah, the computer team drafted better than Joe.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I mean, they're about
top
the
to
same
bottom.
I mean, they both drafted somebody who beats people.
Wow.
I mean, he drafted Kareem Hunt, and the computer drafted Tyreek Hill.
Honestly, though, if I'm really looking at this, I almost think that the computer was better. I mean,
no, it's for sure better.
No,
Yeah,
it is for sure better.
Yeah,
Easily
Julio,
better.
Julio Jones, Brandon Cooks, and then Mike Williams. I think that is okay. Well,
And the computer drafted 2 players that aren't even playing this year, and it's better. It drafted Doug Baldwin and Rob Gronkowski and Tyreek Hill. It drafted 3 players that aren't going to play this year, and I'd still rather have it.
oh, poor Joe.
God, garbage though. Yeah.
How does Joe
So,
win in our league?
He doesn't. Not very often. So anyway, we should probably end the show on that note, I think.
Yeah.
Joe, if you're listening,
Hopefully
I'm
Joe
sorry.
I hope you listen to this show.
Should be watching the YouTube live if he knew what was good for him.
That's right.
But if you've stuck on this long, follow us on Twitter, 4horsemanpod. Send us emails, 4horsemanpod@gmail.com. Hop on the YouTube live. This stuff is going on good. We look good, feel good. I'm wearing a Gurley jersey, so trying to represent my boy. But
even though you want to trade him
in every league that I can, and the more news that keeps just recirculating that we've already known, I can't trade him for anything now. But yeah, we will be back again next week, and I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but it'll be better than Joe's team.
Football related.
So it will definitely be about football. So we'll talk to you guys then. Peace.